Hey everybody, it's Pat Jones and I'm here for my friends at Aquatrols. And today we're talking with the man. We're talking with Jake Gargasz from Crooked Stick. Jake, how are you?
Great. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm fine. You know, we were talking earlier and I said, have we spent that much time together? And I think we met a couple of times, but just when you think you know everybody in this crazy business, you get a chance to talk to somebody new. How's your season going?
Well, it's been a unique one with the coronavirus and all that. I mean, we've definitely had to learn to adapt and overcome with less as far as people. Trying to be careful with how we proceed on a daily basis. So.
What have you learned from the process? What are the takeaways that you think I'm going to keep doing this moving forward?
Yeah, I'll be honest. If I can push to have no bunker rakes on the golf course, I would love to do that. I can tell you that was actually a really nice thing not to have out there. Tee markers, all the things that you know we end up having to move on a daily basis or whatever weekly basis. It's amazing how much time we were saving not having to do a lot of that. So.
Do you think that Pete and Alice are looking down and smiling at least at that part?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They're definitely the minimalist type. That's for sure.
So you got to spend a lot of time with Pete and with Alice, and over the years, well, I know what my favorite story is. What's your favorite from all that time that you got to spend with the man?
Well, you know, I was thinking about that, and I kind of went back to probably within my first year of being at Crooked Stick. I took the job in 2010, and we had a lot of little things that he wanted to get done, and we were doing a lot of in-house construction, and I basically was standing with him on a tee, and we were looking at where a bunker should be placed. And me being a young superintendent and want to have the opportunity to voice my opinion. So I'm letting him know my thoughts, and he basically turned to me and said, "When's the last time anybody's paid you $1 million to design a golf course?" And I said, "Be quiet. I'll be quiet." So that's my best Pete story. I mean, there's a lot of them, but that one really stands out because he knew how to put you in your place.
You're carrying on the tradition of mentoring that I think you picked up from people you worked with along those years. What does that mean to you? How did that come to you, and what does it mean to you now to help to put more good people out into the profession?
Well, I mean, I worked with Paul Latshaw, and I mean, he's the best. I don't care, hands down. He's the guy that I try to model myself after. And when I look at my goals and things that I want to accomplish in my career, there was definitely a mentoring part and trying to make sure that the guys that are under me have the opportunities that I had. And so for me, I am constantly trying to develop these guys, get them in a position where they can move on and be successful. And I think that's super important. I think from the standpoint, if we're not mentoring our people to basically take over for us, then we're not doing them or your golf course justice, because the less that you have to be involved with the day-to-day decisions because you get pulled in so many different directions, the better everything else is.
I, I couldn't agree more. When you think about everything Mr. Latshaw shared with you, and I've had the same conversation with Matt Schaefer and his son and all these other people, what do you think the most important thing was that you learned from Paul?
uh, Work ethic. I mean, this is not a 9 to 5 job. You have to be there when you have to be there, because there are times like right now where we're going to be 90 degrees and 50% humidity. And so I was here early in the morning scouting for disease. We'll be here late tonight making sure that we don't have any issues with stress and things like that. So there's so many things you could say, but when it comes down to it, I think it's very important that we realize that there's a lot that is involved with this job. So.
Yeah, I've heard of the 168 Club, and the group that believes in that philosophy of you're there at first, you're there at the end of the day, and you're spending the time you need to do the job. So good on you. I think that's a great point. Have you picked up any new turf tricks? I know you're on Twitter, and you don't post a ton of stuff, but I think you're probably on there looking for stuff. Have you picked up anything cool and new recently from Twitter or elsewhere?
Well, I mean, we're constantly looking for ways to improve. One of the things that we've done recently is basically went to a cordless hole cutter. A lot of people use like the HIO and things like that, and our greens get so hard in the summer that it was becoming strenuous on my guys that were doing that job. And we basically went to a hole cutter that is more or less electric motor, and it's turning the cup down in, and helping you not stress out your shoulders, all those type of things. So there's a lot of them out there, but we definitely look at what can make us more efficient, what can make us more productive in the end. If we don't tire ourselves out in the beginning of the day, we're more productive at the end of the day. So
Well, and that's a good segue into the question I wanted to ask you about. We're here talking about the day-to-day life, and part of that day-to-day life is how you interact with suppliers and supporters like Aquatrols. So tell me a little bit about how that relationship works for you and why you value them as a company. And of course, they've been around forever and ever, and you kind of grow up with them as part of the industry. But you're also now partnering with them to find new ways to use products and things like that. Tell me about that relationship.
I think a company like Aquatrols, I mean, they're a customer service or customer first company. The fact that I can call Greg Level, our rep, at any point and bounce ideas off of him, tell us or go through the scenarios that we're facing, on that particular day, and him be able to either give advice, or if he doesn't have advice, follow through with the getting you the information that you need in order to make a good decision. The fact that they're continuing to improve their products, bring new products to the industry to help us out. I mean, everything that we do is predicated around trying to make as good of a product as possible. And I mean, how weather is. We can't predict it. So we need
Right.
a lot of flexibility. So a company like that, it just goes to show that they are, looking out for their customers.
Right. And it all comes down to relationships, whether it's Greg or anybody else, and that's probably the number one thing I've learned in my experience in this industry is this is a who industry. And if you know the right people, you can solve any stinking problem.
For sure.
So when you do get a chance to have some fun, where are we going to find you? You got a fishing rod in your hand, or you out in the woods someplace trying to take down a whitetail? What's your love?
Well, obviously, I work a lot, but I have two kids at home, so 6 and 10. Both of them are into sports, and honestly, I love to go home and spend time with them. If they have a sporting event, try to make sure that I'm there. But I mean, honestly, that brings a ton of joy to the end of the day, or middle of the day if you have to leave in order to go see a basketball game or something like that. I mean, we're in central Indiana, so there's that's a good time. So, but I mean, for me right now, I'm hoping to get them into golf eventually. But when I leave the golf course, I'm going trying to spend as much time as I can with them.
Are you hopeful that more kids your age will take a shine to golf because they've been exposed to it through this pandemic and this strange set of circumstances we've had?
Well, I mean, I can tell you from our experience here at Crooked Stick that I've seen kids that I've either never seen or haven't seen in years back on the golf course. I mean, our play, being a private club, and we haven't closed this entire time. we've actually probably doubled our typical rounds up to or year to date. So it is bringing a lot more people to the game, which is, I mean, obviously for us that's what we need. We need to not have as many people leave the game and more people take interest in it. So
Yeah, I agree. And it's one more interesting thing where you have a program like First Green or even First Tee, where
right.
some of those kids get a chance to look at the golf course differently. And maybe, just maybe, we can get back to the days where kids who played golf became kids who worked at golf courses and who became golf course superintendents.
Right.
Uh,
Exactly.
Jake, thank you so much for your time today. And I know you're busy, and I know this is a busy part of the year, but I'm happy to have had you as a guest on Turf Zoom and to
Yeah,
gotten you to know you a little bit better. So hopefully the next time we meet, it'll be in a cooler place and under better circumstances. So thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Have a
All
great
right. Well, stay tuned, everybody, and we'll be back soon with another edition of Turf Zoom.